Still got some time. DJ's running a few minutes late. Maybe the cat's peed on the rug or something. We'll go taking in these stray cats. He's a big softy, really. Okay, Sydney, so you're in this channel. If you hover all the way over the top of this channel where it says Roundtable Tuesday, it pops up three icons. There's like a little chat bubble, a little head for a create an invite, and a cog for edit channel, which I guess you don't have. You want to hit the little speech bubble. Yeah, the channel I'm broadcasting at the moment on YouTube is the chat channel from Discord. We'll phase that out eventually, and we'll use proper YouTube chat. Makes life so much easier because I don't have to pre-process it and upload it and all that sort of stuff. It just automatically streams and that's it. Done. And yes, I agree. Weird. It'll get better, don't worry.
Good evening.
Good evening. Was it the cat? Was the cat making trouble?
No, just didn't leave enough time between work and dinner and dishes to
To do anything. Yeah. Totally.
Oh, got a few in tonight.
We have indeed.
Because we've got lots to talk about.
We do. We've been live for a couple of minutes. We're testing out, getting people in there, looking at how weird things look. Yeah, adult life, totally.
Right, let me closing tabs. Let me bring up the notes for tonight's roundtable. And
Also,
yes, we do prepare notes.
totally agree with that as well. I don't like change. Yes, half the chat right now, definitely. Little things. People don't like change at all. Not good.
So the question is, given we have less people on Discord, are the numbers being made up on YouTube?
Very probably. I'm in both.
Have a look.
We've definitely got enough to roll though.
Switch account, switch to that one. No, wrong one.
There's so many windows open right now, it's just not funny. Three monitors exploding with stuff. We have 7 on YouTube. Okay. 8. There we go. People are clicking. Possibly missing out on. Are they going to give away prizes specifically on YouTube? Who knows? Cruel. No, we're not, by the way. No, I'm not going to be cruel.
Right, okay. So, I can split this over 2 separate.
Can indeed.
Well, now I've got one screen's got Discord. The other screen's got half YouTube and half the notes.
You're also exploding with windows on your screens then. Cool.
Hang on, let's go over there. No, that's not the layout I want. No, that's not the layout I want either. Oh my lord. There we go.
There we go. Cleveland's on there.
Oh, we can create a poll in YouTube too. That sounds exciting. And I can do YouTube's so small though.
Mm-hmm. Subgang indeed.
I must find the like proper like admin panel thing for YouTube so that it's
Yes.
like,
It'll make things easier. We're still learning. It's all good. Are we ready to roll then? Shall we get cracking?
I think we are.
So
Oh, you can pop out chat as well. Toggle the timestamps. Okay. Anyway, enough of that.
I hope quick. Okay, let's get going then. So, welcome to Roundtable 74, where you get to catch up with the WNG team, find out what we've got planned for the coming weeks, and also hear about any changes that have happened over the last week. We'll be doing Q&A, influencing the future of the community. That sounds really cool. And maybe give out some prizes in the process. I said maybe, it's a disclaimer. You've obviously all got the YouTube links now, which was my next thing. We're going to be slowly transitioning over because it's going to make things so easy, allow us to do way more, and cool stuff will evolve from that. There's going to be weekly maintenance at 9 a.m. tomorrow, as usual. It shouldn't be the extravaganza it was last week. I severely hope it isn't. So hopefully, have we got anything big tomorrow?
No, we've just got some firewall changes, and I think that's about it. I may, depending on what I decide to do this evening, whether or not I stop dicking around in the dev kit or actually get on and do some of the loop tables that I was planning on doing.
Cool.
Depends on what goes in tomorrow morning.
Dicking around in the dev kit. That's serious business we've got going on there. Dicking around in the dev kit, indeed. Anyway, thank you for joining. We're going to crack on because we've got a hell of a lot going on this week. Firstly, this week, I wanted to touch upon something that we've noticed in the past week. Dum 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 dum. Everybody has actually been quite amazing. So thank you for the feedback in the channels for each of the games. Everything has again this week been handled really well. We're listening, we're hearing, and it's obvious the community is loving what we do. We're having to get involved a lot less with people. Everything's been reported with dignity and grace and people doing things the right way. So generally problems are being dealt with now before they've even happened. So I'm really loving that. So keep that up. The more of that we can do, the cleaner up we're going to be, and it's a more enjoyable place to play. A quick message from our administrators here. Ding, ding, ding. Support tickets and lost and found. Please mention the map name, please, when you provide CCC coordinates. I several times now stumbled in upon what we're now terming Guess the Map. It's an hilarious game where we all look at pictures and try and decide where your CCC coordinates have come from or what map your base is on. Some of us are quite good at it. Others, quite frankly, we're really awful. So yeah, if you put the map name in when you drop us some CCs, that would be fantastic. And ruins their little games of spot the map. It's really cool. Other thing I was going to mention in the general news, which DJ's got some input on, was Discord calendar events and what's been popping off in the chat over the period of the last 2 hours. You want to go into a bit more detail about what's going on and why things have been pinging?
So we have a little. It's one of those things where we have to do a lot for not little gain, but we just have tasks that we have to perform that could be quite tedious. And one of those is putting the events onto Discord and summarizing what's going on for everybody else to see, hear, and kind of understand. What we've done is we've kind of automated that. We've set ourselves up a calendar, several calendars, and they now feed into 2 different channels. So you've got the events channel, and in there will go any new events we add to our calendar. For example, the Halloween event that we've got coming up on Saturday the 29th, a very important event and one that we want to get as many people to as possible. That's been announced in the events channel. And then once a week, you'll get a summary of the next or any events we've got planned or community events we've got planned over the next 3 weeks. And that'll pop up during the downtime on Wednesday. You get a full list there, what channel they're going to be in, what time they're going to run at. And also the times will be localized, so you'll all see different times depending on your time zones. So there should be very little confusion. The new system will also put out reminders of events 15 minutes before the events, so people aren't late or miss them or anything like that. The second part to that is server updates. Again, you're going to get a summary once a week of all the maintenance, downtime, restarts, all that kind of stuff that we have scheduled. That'll again go out once a week into the server updates channel. You can see an example of that in there now. And you'll also get warnings before servers are due to go down or restart in that channel as well. So much more organized. So when we add anything to our calendar, it automatically ends up on Discord straight away, all nicely formatted and laid out really well. But back to the main events, the Halloween events on the 29th. If you're able to attend, there's a big button in the chat on Discord now. Please click that you're interested. Get to recreate the event. So we had up to 30 signups for that. We're now down to 13. So we'll be taking up to 40 people in total. So get in early. Oh, there we go. We're up to 15 now. Lovely. Keep it coming.
That's it. It was unfortunate, but
17.
Previous event is now poof. So if you can bang your names in, that would be fantastic. Also helps me keep a track of like how many things we need to spawn and how hard it's going to be to combat like 30 people as opposed to 15.
Yeah.
Hello, John. I see you there.
I'm not going to go into detail about the Halloween event yet. That will come later. We've got some other stuff to move on to.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it was more about the new event system we have and a way for managing events and announcing them to you.
Cool.
So we can take questions on that later.
Totally. So moving on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do games in reverse order this week. I'm going to get the Rust and Minecraft Conan stuff out of the way, because we know there's a lot of ARC stuff coming that is going to require a lot of discussion. So I'm going to rattle through that first before we get to the big stuff. So for Rust, we have actually got some really, really new developments. Don't want to go into too much, but I'll touch on that at the end. So, naked people, we haven't forgotten about you. So rundown of the news this week for Rust, what we're aware of, what's going to be happening, etc., etc. So we know about the furnace issues. Thank you, Mosh, for that. However, our resident Rust programmer, whose name I'm going to be redacting from here on forth for fear of a YouTube strike, is on the case. How can we get across? How do we do this? 520 leaf. Yeah, wacky backy kind of. That's the one, Mary Jane. That'll do nicely. Thank you, John. So from now on, we're going to be calling him Mary. Has been working on the smelting. We know what's caused it. It's an issue with quick smelt. They've changed again how the furnaces operate. We've got a working fix, and in the morning I will be putting the working fix in place. For now, we've disabled quick smelt. So your stuff is going to be smelting a little bit slower for now. Tomorrow, everything's going to be cool. We'd also like to inform you that Cube has left the position of Rust server developer. He's going to be moving house, and he wasn't content with that, so he's also moving country. And Cube being Cube also isn't content with moving house and country. He's also moving job and entire life at the same time. So we wish Cube all the best. Sadly, this means he can't continue his duties. I am opening to talking to people who've got some really, really cool ideas about what they want to do with Rust. Meanwhile, we've been having our own sort of internals. I've been discussing with from the guy who's now named Mary. And we're going to continue developing. Things are not going to collapse. And we'd just like to wish Cube the best in his future endeavours and wish him good luck. Meanwhile, myself and not redacted programmer now, but we'll call him Mary, are going to be stepping in to keep things running. We've got some new fresh ideas that we're working on. Once we've had time to have a chat, which should be tomorrow, I'll relay more of where we're going to go with Rust and what's coming to you. We're going to be continuing to develop the Rust experience as well as adding to it, which kind of brings us to what we were discussing literally, 40 minutes ago before we all ran to get food. So we plan to do a bit of a full overhaul on the Rust and give it kind of like the ARC treatment, shall we say. So be expecting different game modes, more PvE content, more stuff that will sort of keep you entertained as you play, custom events. It's all sorts of stuff we have on the plate at the moment. So leave it with us. We're going to have a chat tomorrow. And next week, I'll probably be able to give you much more of an idea on where we're going to be going with Rust. But fear not, it's not going anywhere. Quickly onto Minecraft, and very quickly. No rush decision making, so don't panic. Is anybody still playing the Minecraft server? If you are, then give me a poke. Let me know you're still out there and you're still enjoying Minecraft. If you're not, and if people don't want the server anymore, that's also perfectly fine. We can do something else with it. A lot of people have sort of made interest to a modded server, maybe. We've discussed pros and cons of that. But so long as people are aware that it's, not going to last forever and stuff like that, I'm more than happy to do that. So more discussion on Minecraft is what I'm aiming at here. Just feedback channels, let me know if you're playing, if you're not, if you've got other ideas. Feedback channels, always. Very quickly with Conan. Honestly, this week I had zero free time. It's been a bit of a busy week. Obviously, we had all the maintenance going on and everything, so I'm going to revisit Conan, if not this weekend, by very early next week, check that everything's fine, and see if anything needs doing. I've not seen any mods fall over or anything like that, and I want to get back to playing that too, so that's going to be up and coming. And then we get to the sort of meat and potatoes of the whole thing and what everybody's been waiting for. Let's get some art news, eh? What do we think?
Oh, most definitely.
First thing on the list then is community raiding. I'm going to be quick about this and we'll leave it at that. It's not about poking people, it's about how things are going to be done from now on. So from now on, if our admins or staff are running events or bosses, you are expected at bare minimum to have watched at least a short YouTube video. We're not saying study up on the thing, but at least be prepared for what you're going to see. So you've got some idea what's going to happen. Come prepped, which means health pots, dinosaurs suitable for activity, weapons, should you lose the dino, and plenty of ammo. And, pack the required armor sets for damage or cold. Any short video should tell you that, you're going to need a cold set, a hot set, blah, 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 blah. So make sure you're prepped. We're going to be elaborating on that a little bit in the future. That's something that's still in discussion. But guidelines on, maybe what to bring would help so people are fully aware of what they should be bringing. And we'll work on that. It was a bit of a calamity, but we'll work on it. We'll get it better. Will the tech cave run be put on YouTube? As I said to somebody earlier, probably yes, we will do it. Sandy's fine with it. But the problem is you can only watch that video once, maybe every week or two. It really does hurt the eyes. So I'm still recovering from minor eye burn. Exactly. And when we get round to processing that, which maybe I can do tonight, if this all goes well, we don't have to process the Roundtable video. Maybe I'll do that instead. So yes, I will be posting that.
What I would actually really love to do, I think, is, do you remember a long time ago I did a split screen video when we did a Destiny raid?
Yes.
From two different perspectives.
Yes.
And I put them side by side.
Yes.
I would love to do a tech cave run.
Okay.
Us, just the ninjas, how it's supposed to be done or how we've done it in the past many times. Put that alongside the video from the run or from the other night, so people can just see exactly what the difference is between doing what is essentially an end game boss event versus going for picnic and beers in the park. It's just, yeah. I wasn't there for that one, and I haven't seen the video yet. But I've done the tech cave. I've done it many times with 4, 5, 6 people, and it takes organisation, it takes concentration, and people paying attention to what they're supposed to be doing and having some clue about what they're doing. My understanding was that didn't happen. So I'm actually from my personal point of view, I'm very reluctant to put the video up because it doesn't do the community or Wicked Ninjas any favors whatsoever, I don't think. But that's my personal opinion.
That's kind of where I was heading with it. The bit where Sandy voluntarily jumped into the fire, though, that's getting clipped and going up. That was hilarious. Really cool.
Yeah, I'm all up for showing people how not to do things, but I'm also not up for deliberately smacking myself in the face with a mat and putting out the impression that we're all a bunch of clueless noobs.
But we are all a bunch of clueless noobs. But yeah, if we lay it out better, if we give people more advice and things like that when we do the community runs, then maybe that is going to go better. So there's going to be some changes there, I think, for the better, and we'll give people more guidelines of what they should expect. Because, yeah, fair play. Some people may have gone into that with absolutely their eyes shut. Some people may not. Who knows? Cool.
I have lots of opinions on that, but I'm not going to voice them.
Exactly. Think sort of WoW pug groups on endgame content. It was kind of akin to that sort of thing.
The difference between raiding Illidan with an organized clan or raiding Illidan with a pickup group of whatever the max raid number was and having one tank, 5 million DPS and half a healer that all speak different languages.
Exactly.
Oh, it was worse than, from what I understand, Scorp, it's worse than Leroy.
Well, we always default back to WoW raids because we're ex-WoW players. Everybody knows what WoW is, right? It's one of those situations where if you say to somebody, bad pub group, think WoW, everyone just goes, yeah.
Yeah. It's like trying to organize one of those LFG raids in WoW when they put them in. All the DPS are interested in is how big they can make their numbers. All the tanks are interested in is how big they can get hit. And all the healers are interested in is telling everybody else, what the fuck are you doing standing in the fire?
SWTOR, yeah, that's another one. I really tried with SWTOR. I really wanted. And yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I digress. My fault.
I just have to say, I'm a bounty hunter. Woo! Yeah, it was cool. Okay, so first thing on the agenda this week. This is going to be a big one. World bosses. So we've both been reading the comments from both sides. We've had a chat about things, and it's clear that the number of players here is causing an issue. It's clear it's been abused, probably both intentionally and due to the kindness of others, allowing it to get worse. But either way, it's going to have to stop. Things need to be better. There's a few ways of dealing with the first issue, which is the number of players attempting to grab some free stuff, and the issues that causes. So I'm going to hand over to DJ at this point because he's been working like Billy-O trying to sort this out. So where are we at now with event bosses, and how is it going to be different?
So I'm going to kind of lay a few things out. First of all, world bosses, or what we're calling world bosses in Ark, were intended by design from the Wicked Ninja Games side to be end game content for players that had, in quotes, finished Ark. You've done all the bosses, you've killed the King Titans, you've killed Rockwell, you've got all the gear, you've got all the best stuff in the game, and you come across a world boss, whether it be as a tribe or solo. The world boss is designed to wreck you. But the rewards it gives you allow you to progress beyond the end game of Ark and get geared for the more difficult world bosses. So there's 3 types of world boss, and they give you 3 exclusive rewards. There's one which drops your health bonus or your health mutation for your domination Rexes. There's one that drops stamina, and then there's one that drops damage. Now, the damage boss is designed to put out more damage. The health boss is designed to have a higher health pool but lower damage output. And the stamina boss is somewhere in between. So the idea behind it was you start at the bottom end, you get the health buffs and stamina buffs, and then you can take on the one that's doing the ultimate amount of damage as a solo player or as a small tribe. Now, because they're world bosses and they are in the open world, that obviously has now fallen flat on its face because everybody is just turning up and dogpiling. So you can wreck them now, even though you aren't tactically thinking. You don't have the gear for them, or you just turn up, jump in the arena at the end, and grab some cool stuff. So that's all kinds of broken. So in the meantime, we've turned them off, unfortunately. So they're not spawning at the moment. Now, to combat this and to make the world bosses available for the players that they were designed for, we've got a couple of ideas. But there's one thing I want to address beforehand. People who are saying, well, if you restrict access or you lock them down or you make them more difficult or you lower the number of players that are allowed to fight them, that means that the lower end players can't get any loot from them. That's by design. I'll put that out there now. That is completely intentional. Lower end players have a plethora of bosses throughout Ark, from the Broodmother all the way up to Rockwell, to get geared and get good. The world bosses are there exclusively for the high-end endgame players that have ground out the levels, maxed out their dinos, and are ready to take on a new challenge. So the changes that I'm going to implement will be geared towards that. So there's a couple of solutions that we have to this. The first one is we can stop people being able to enter a world boss arena and only allow access through a teleport. And that teleport could be purchased on the shop for Federation shards, and it can have a level requirement behind it as well. So that's one solution. But that still doesn't kind of stop the whole world boss being in the middle of the world and people still turning up, hanging around the outside and lagging the crap out of the place. So the second part of that is I'm thinking the world boss arena is moved and it ends up on one map, and it will be an arena that can't be got to by any other means other than a teleport. You will not be able to enter or exit through traditional means. So the only way you get in is if you redeemed a kit off the shop or you activated a special object that would teleport you into the arena. The boss would then spawn. You would fight the boss, and the only way out is either your death or the boss's death. And then at the end of the event, you get all your rewards and you teleport yourself back to the trading post on that map. And that is the essence of what's going to happen. So the purchase price to buy into the boss fight will, I'm thinking it'll be equivalent to one of the rewards you get back out of the fight. So at the moment, you could say 4,000 shards per person to buy in, and then you get that reward back when you complete the kill. If you don't kill the boss, then you don't get the cash back. Yes, we could. There's lots of different solutions. I'm at the moment looking at ones we can implement without additional coding or changes to our mod. But yes, we could check an implant to see what people have achieved before they're allowed to enter. That is entirely possible, but then you just end up with, there's no ultimate fix for it. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Deathshot. So you buy the event, you get teleported to the arena, and then the boss starts its spawn countdown to give you enough time to deploy your dinos and prepare to get wrecked.
The particular bit I loved about that was the refund if you do it. That's so cool. Kind of like boss sort of raffle, isn't it? It's like Hunger Games for bosses. That would make lower tier players to start asking, can you kill this boss or that boss for me? It can be abusable by first killing the requirement boss. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So I'm kind of the opinion I don't want to make it too overly complicated. Yeah, the level restriction works fine, by the way. You don't need to check people's implants because you would have to have a certain number of ascensions before you can actually engage the boss.
The good part about that death shot as well, some players play on times that don't allow them to do the bosses. That is something that's been brought up over and over. And sort of spawnable or buyable bosses would fix that completely. You can set your own time.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were thinking, death shot. So level 140 before you can buy in.
And then is there going to be a weekly cooldown? Well, that's entirely up to us. That can be changed.
I mean, there is actually there is another way around it. It's a weekly quest. Mm-hmm.
And you could get your group, no matter what time zone, to do that weekly quest. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever the amount happens to be, or whatever the requirement happens to be, the essence of it is the world boss will have its own arena, or world bosses. So when you choose which one you want to fight, and then you go from there. But Cleveland, the weekly quests are all configurable. This is all ideas I'm just putting out there, but the essence of it is the boss has its own arena. You have to get access to that arena. You have to have achieved a certain level or a certain something, and nobody else can just kind of like hover around the perimeter to leech rewards off of you. Um, no, just well, somebody has 3 players in their tribe. They've gone and recruited 3 players for their tribe. If you have one, find 2 more. We've got a looking for group channel. Away you go.
The other point, though, Theo, is we absolutely have got full customization over this. It's a learning process as well. So we can totally tailor it whatever way we want.
But the idea behind this is for people who are at the point where they want the ultimate challenge. So whether it be 1 player or 3 players, it doesn't really matter.
Time is the only enemy we've got at the moment. There's nothing to say in the future, and we couldn't add different tiers of bosses for different groups and solo players and all that sort of stuff. It's all open. It's just time. And what works and what players are willing to do and players want, it's all doable.
Yeah, but there's my point is there's content for everybody for the lower tier players already in the game.
Yeah, totally.
If you're not of the level to do the boss yet, then you've still got more content to experience. I'm not going to build content to replace content. I'm going to build content to increase your playtime and allow you to do more things and have more fun. I don't want to just put stuff in for the sake of putting it in.
Yes,
But
that
Cleveland,
was.
we're not talking about balancing these bosses. They are already balanced for small tribes. That's the intention behind it. What I'm talking about is we're stopping people rickrolling the bosses by the entire cluster turns up, no matter what level you are, and throwing so many bodies at it that tactics go straight out the window. It's no fun for anybody when that happens. There's no sense of achievement, no sense of any serious progression for anybody because you just handed the rewards straight away. And it just ruins the experience for the whole cluster, not just for the people involved, because you like the crap out of it. That's an interesting one, Sunny, because when we first released these bosses into the world and players were doing them as they were intended, the tactics to defeat them were actually bespoke to different tribes and quite heavily guarded secrets on how to kill the bosses and what you need to do to farm them. One player soloed them. He came in with about 80 tames, I think. And he controlled them in multiple tame groups, having them attack from one side. They would push the boss, and then he would pull them back, send in another squad of like 20 or 30 tames from the other side, push the boss back over the other side of the arena. And watching it was actually incredible. The player who's no longer playing on the cluster controlled his tames exceptionally well. Used a lot of tames, and this was before he had any dummies available to him. And he successfully killed the Domination Rex world boss. So we know it's totally possible to do these world bosses, and you can have up to like 70 or 80 tames in there at one time. The problem that's not the problem. The problem is when players like you get 20, 25, 30 players all turn up with a couple of tames each, all running around like lunatics, doing random stuff, and it's just too much.
That's kind of the whole point, though. We didn't want it to be like any standard boss that could be done with 20. This is serious stuff for people with serious tactics and serious breeding and a mind to kill them.
The whole intention behind it was, 1, 2, 3, 4 players take on a boss. They use their heads and actually defeat it. I mean, like my one was I didn't get a chance to try it, but I wanted to try tanking with the Forest Titan using its block ability, while a couple of others were chewing on the boss from behind at slightly further range because they're very like closest target go to. So if you can get right up in its face, you can probably hold it in one spot. Other tactics included pushing them around. So you can't build in the arenas, and when the boss spawns, it destroys any structures, but you could walk stuff into the arena with stuff built on it. Turrets are useless, flyers are not great, but I know somebody that's built some very creative team of dinos and managed to kill it with about 4 people and 5 or 6 dinos. None of them massively well bred. They did lose one with some unlucky positioning. Yeah, six. Let's see. Okay, trikes. You need something that's maneuverable. Like a Callan, hitboxes are way too big. Yeah, trikes.
There's a lot of creative things you can do with trikes. Way more than just bleed damage.
Well, bosses are immune to all effects.
But food for thought there.
Yeah, so they will be coming back. They will be coming back soon, and it will be in a new arena, and it will be on one map. So that's the map you go to when you want to fight the world bosses. You'll pick the one you want to fight, you'll go and fight it, and then you'll let us know if you win or not.
There's absolutely nothing stopping you from using dodos. In fact, I would like to see that.
Yeah, it could very well be the center, but my first thoughts are a floating island off the coast of the island that is inaccessible.
Minute details like, will there be one for every player like once per week is still in the mix.
Will there be one time for every player, one per week? Well, there's several options available to us. You can, when you teleport in, that could start the spawn timer. Or we can randomize the times when they spawn. But to be honest, I would rather do it so that you pick the boss you want to fight, I think. No, they wouldn't be individual. So yes, your tribe mate could come in. We could split it so actually one is a summon and then you have teleports as well. But again, it's going to be level limited, so you will have to have completed certain ascensions before you can even think about getting in there.
Main thing is it's going to address the two main issues of player clutter causing FPS issues and also the time zone, which I think are big things to address. Kind of half of our entire cluster is not UK based. It's all good.
But yeah, we think we've got solutions to this. No, you could join them. That wouldn't be a problem, Doctor. What I don't want is 10 people who are like level 100 who have never actually even attempted to do a boss on the cluster, just standing there and soaking up 270 armor, tech saddles, and like stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd also recommend you start with the bosses that are going to allow you to survive the other bosses first. So get your hit points up first, then go for the one with the stamina, then go for the one that's doing the damage. No, I think what we'll leave it up to tribes to organize what they do in terms of picking their team to do the bosses.
Just a quick add in there as we're talking about tribes to organize themselves. Couple of things that have come up over the past couple of days, which I'm just going to tack on the end because it just came into my head. Please, no tickets or asking admins to make you an admin of your tribe. We're not going to be doing it. That is entirely sort of tribe business. And the last thing we want to see is one of our admins making somebody an admin in your tribe, and then you find you've been robbed senseless or half your base has been taken down. That's not going to happen. So just an addendum there. That's going forward. There's no possibility of anybody getting made a tribe admin by an admin, as in a staff admin, not admin of your tribe. Well, there are certain things you can do as an admin that you can't do as a non.
For example, you could get into the admin portion of your base because you can lock doors and only make them accessible to admins.
Yeah, you can bypass pins as an admin and things like that. Change pins.
Don't know if you're all aware, but doors can be set to admin access only. So you could have an admin section to your base where you store your most prized possessions.
Totally. It doesn't always have to mean that because you recruit people into your tribe that they're going to have access to everything you have. You are the leader of your tribe. It's up to you to control your own access. And there are ways and means to do that. And yes, storage and other maps and stuff like that also, yeah.
Well, that depends on how you control your privileges in your tribe. But yeah, we won't just promote people to admin.
Okay. So I'm going to step in and adjudicate now because we've already done 52 minutes and we've still got another huge topic to come. So I'm going to move on. So to break up the tone of things, you asked for the center. I believe it was last week we were discussing that, and it's here. Managed to get this one out in record time. I'm actually quite impressed on how we managed it. So rules are simple. Naked transfers in. No gear, dinos, mats, not that sort of thing. It's a fresh map. You may bring back anything you get there, but obviously it can't go back in if you take it out. Voting is live. I've fixed the issues that were reported earlier on in the day about them being cross-linked across with docs. The shop is open, so if you do need to get things, you can do that. We've kind of skipped a portion. Usually we would lock the shop off as well, but for now the shop is open. It's all cool. And as the only last thing I've got to say on that matter is, no, we have no idea when it's going to fully open yet. We haven't even discussed it. So if anybody's got any quick notes on the center or any observations, anything you've found, now would be the time for that. Getting the bosses would be taking nearly a month or more on the center. Yes, you would have to get the dinosaurs ready to do that. It's just a combo boss on the center, though. Not particularly that difficult. Yeah, they have boosted the ape.
Well, I wish they would have put the. They still nerfed the ape. Its rocket used to lob, used to kill you.
It used to be instant death, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, keep that one to yourself, please, Cleveland.
I mean, we could make it a bit more challenging by tweaking the bosses. I don't see why not.
I'd say that's probably a necessity, Quick.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have it any other way.
For those of you that are not aware, when you're on Ragnarok, if you do /TP, is it Hall?
I think it's Hero, actually. Hero? I think it's Hero.
Yeah, Hero. /TP Hero. It will take you to the Hall of Heroes, where you will see all of our first kills immortalized in dioramas set around a really nice hall.
Better get to work quick if that's the case. People already on the case.
Only the alpha, though.
Yeah. People work fast though. There's some big names on that on the centre now. It would not surprise me at all if the monkey went down fairly fast. Even with having the lock maps. Dodo Reaper would be cool, yeah. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be cool. The Halloween emotes are usually the best in the game as well, so I'm hoping for some new emotes this year as well. I've not read the patch notes yet, and I don't want to. Surprise. Oh my god, no. Dodo Rex is now tameable? Or are you suggesting that? Will it be? I have no idea. I've not read the patch notes yet. I like the surprise. Halloween's my favourite event. Get straight in there, into that vanilla cooking pot. Find out what you can make. Farm up all the costumes and emotes and stuff. It's all good. Exactly. Beware the dodos. This is not going to be like the turkey event. That was terrible. So many people died to turkeys.
We still do have a couple of tweaks to make to the centre, though, especially regarding the loot tables on the buses.
Yeah.
On a plus note, though, with the stuff that I've been doing in the dev kit, I did add transferable trophies for the boss on Lost Island and transferable boss flags for that boss as well, because we didn't have those previously. So anybody who has a trophy collection of all the boss heads in their base on a different map will have to kill that boss again once the new update to the mod goes in, and you can then take it across map. So what's next on our glorious schedule?
Okay. So now for something else that's been hot topic recently, which has been performance, both server side and client side. We've been very careful to differentiate the two. So I'm going to put this out there right away to allow for some discussion. Dino limits per tribe out at any one time are going to be reduced from 150 to 75. And structure limits of 4K are now going to be applied not just to Fjorjo in the centre, but now to all maps. It's going to help considerably. Yes, it's a pain in the ass. But if we want the great play experience that we've become to expect here, this is what's going to have to happen. So, yeah, I know some people are going to be really, really stoked for this. And I know some people are going to be really, really bummed out about it. So, let's spill it out now, and then questions and answers. Yes, the strider limits and stuff will still count as 30 times.
Is it 30 or 25? Can't remember. Either way.
It's around that number, yeah.
It doesn't mean anybody's bases will explode.
CI has already gone down to 4,000 on day one. It's no longer 10,000. Mere typo. I mean CE, not CI. And of course, yes, CI. CI is currently at 10. Yeah, every map is going down to 4,000. But as DJ said, nothing is going to explode. It just merely means if you're over the limit, you're not going to be able to build more. The things like Nuggy's ship, perfectly acceptable. It's a work of art. It just means on that map, he's blown his build limit. Are you guys not on Quetzals as well? How the heck have you blown through that much on Quetzals? And she has got 5 Quetzals though, hasn't she?
what we could do, I suppose, which might be interesting, is have a build map.
It's an interesting proposition.
So a map that doesn't have any dinos on it, and we just let people build on it.
Actually, not a bad idea.
No dinos, no supply drops. A nice map that's maybe a completely different map to what we've already got, and you're not allowed to transfer anything off of it, but anyone that joins it can have like creative mode or something like that.
Yeah, totally. That's pretty cool because I get that making big, awesome bases is a thing, and they're beautiful bases. But on a server that's growing and got so many players, we can't have that everywhere. It's going to destroy everybody's experience, and it already is starting to.
Yeah, we've got a problem where we've got like people who want to do big creative builds and show them off to the community and let people come and have a look at their amazing bases, see what's going on, and then post the pictures and have those kind of immortalized. And then you've also got the people that actually want to play the game. They do want to build nice bases, and 4K is a perfectly acceptable limit to build a base that both looks good and is functional. But when you want to do the big creative builds, it's got to be a bit different, I think.
Where people are trying to be competitive, doing bosses, world events, and things like that. If we left them all the old maps at 10K, more people will come in, more people will build, and it's going to be completely unplayable. It's not a hardware thing either. It's not something we can just throw money and processors at. It's an orc thing. So yes, I think a build server would be amazing.
So I suppose that the question there then is, if it comes back that our supporter server for Minecraft is now, it's done its run, people have played it, they've built it, they've done their thing with it, which was always the way for the supporter servers. It's what they're intended to be.
Yeah.
Then we could do a map for creative building. We turn everything off on the map. We put in a slightly different mod set. We only let people transfer to it naked and leave naked. And then we let people build to their heart's content on there.
There is fair point there by both Marexes and Rainis. A lot of people leaving. Decay time does still exist for some people.
Yes, there's a bit of a manual job that I still haven't finished around that.
But we are aware of that. We do know that is the case, and we are working on that. We've also at the moment got the admins doing absolutely stellar work, hunting out and finding places that have got too many crop plots, way too big builds. We're on that full time at the moment. We're trying to combat the experience a lot of you are sick of sort of looking at, and this is the way to do it.
There is also another approach to this, but well, let's see what happens after we've finished our cleanup, because we've got, yes, we are aware there's some bases still hanging around that have decay times on them that they shouldn't have. That though is, we go through our database of players and decay times, and we have to make some adjustments in there because they're players that left before we automated the process. We clean all that up and see what decays. Then after we've done that, then there's other steps that we can take that could help the situation further if we still have a problem.
Yes, Lost and Found is the place to report bases like that. Tula and the admin crew are all over that stuff at the moment. They literally, I've seen 2 or 3 big bases get raced to the floor in the past day alone. They're all over it right now. Admins are like working like troopers at the moment.
Yeah, 700 decay timer is a base that has an admin attached to it.
Yeah.
We've addressed that. We've also addressed players being in the same tribe as admins. So the way that that's going to work going forward, before, if you were an admin, any tribe that you were in or part of took on the admin decay timer. We're now going to configure that so that only the admin, the Wicked Ninjas admin tribe, has an admin decay timer.
That mainly is protecting the trading posts, and we have 1 base on CI. We've cut down everything we own.
So, if an admin is playing the game and they tribe up with somebody, that tribe will no longer get 700 decay time. They will get whatever their highest decay time is for the person in that tribe. There's lots of work we're doing, and it just takes time.
Yeah. Now, purely throwing this out of thin air, Maraxi's comment there, I want to build over 4K. So I can see why Maraxi's upset. It's one thing having a build server. It's another moving your entire base or having kind of the will and the energy to get there and actually do it. With Rust, there's a utility called copy and paste. Is this a thing for Arc?
Yes.
Is this something that for certain situations we could do?
Yes, we can if we can get over our issues with auto bases. That's exactly what it's designed for. And in fact, you could actually copy an entire server and paste it back.
So this is all stuff that is in the pipeline and is possible. And like I said earlier, just because the build limits go down, it doesn't mean your base is going to go away. It just means you can't build anything else on that particular map because the rates are 4 per map. We're talking about bases, yes. So you could theoretically lift a base, copy it, and paste it into a different map, which would be the creative server.
But my thoughts with the creative server is people don't need to farm resources on the server, so
you can just
don't have any dinos. You can just build. It's like if you want to build an awesome base and decorate the hell out of it, and then get it featured in the community brunch and get it pushed out on our social and show it off. That's what that server would be for. People can still come over and visit, have a nose around. Yeah, that's kind of what we're talking about, Cleveland, creative mode.
And for Cine, yes, that is possible. The only sort of restrictions on doing that sort of stuff on a regular basis would be the huge amount of time invested by the admins to do that. But the technology is there to do just that, yes.
Well, a lot of other servers that utilize that kind of technology, they charge a fee for moving a base.
Yeah.
Take us half an hour to copy your base, load it up, move it somewhere else, and then reposition it in a way that you're going to like. But somebody's got to put that time aside and do it.
I think the whole point of that creative map, if that's what you're alluding to, Rain, is there's a lot of things you could do in a map like that. There would be no point in doing bosses and no point in farming mats to abuse the system. It would be a creative map for builds. I mean, if you want to farm bosses in creative mode, then yeah, go you. It's not stuff that's going to be taken to the other clusters. that would require like a reverse system. So at the moment where you can't go in but you can bring out, it would be the opposite. You can take anything you want there, but you can't bring it back because of the creative mode. If you want to farm bosses with one-shot punches, you go ape. It's not getting you anything.
But anyway, like we said, it's an idea. Let's discuss it and see what we can do with it. I know clusters have developed, say, breeding servers or building servers, and specifically where they expect the server to be abused.
And yes, that's right. We would have to look at the pros and cons, but yeah, it would essentially be a go build something beautiful server and go ape. And players know on that map that they're likely to have their frames tank, and it's all for the beauty of it.
Another interesting thing that I was digging into, and I don't know if any of you have seen it, there's a thread in the community help section. I was curious about how the requirements for Arc have evolved over time. So I thought I'd fire up Arc on all the different preset settings, just standing in the trading post on Extinction to see what it actually required to run. And the first thing that immediately jumped out to me is memory for your graphics card. No matter what settings I picked, I could not get the memory to go below about 4.5 gigabytes. So anybody that is running Arc with a graphics card that has less than 5 gigabytes of RAM will be suffering performance-wise, even if you're running it on the lowest possible settings across the board. I did all the settings and I recorded how much memory was used by the computer, how much VRAM was used by the graphics card, and how much processor usage and what kind of stress the card was under as well. And I posted everything in community help. I can't remember what the thread was called. Art graphics settings and performance.
Exactly. That will help not having all those dinos on the map as well for the creative.
Yeah, no dinos, no supply drops. You won't have any need for breeding, so there won't be any automations running around breeding and stuff like that. I think it'd be quite interesting.
You really think there's 5k dinos on the maps? You'd be surprised. It's kind of nothing to go into like the admin screens and stuff and see 45,000 dinos roaming around per map.
Yeah, there's 5k.
5k is rookie numbers. You could decorate the world with dinosaur dermises and things like that you bring in. I don't know. There's lots of ways of doing it. No, that's the whole point. There would be no restrictions on how big you make your giant golden phallus base.
What I really want to see is somebody to build a skyscraper out of glass and light up all the different levels and spell something out with the lights. That's one that I've missed. And you can also, if you use the automations, you could make the lights go off and on. So you could flash them. That would be cool.
Yeah. Exactly. Endless possibilities.
Yeah, it's Maxis. It's not going to happen. Like, we're not going to do it right now. Don't worry. And yes, we may be able to move some of the more creative builds over to another map for you. What would be the best map to have as a creative build map?
Well, that's a good question. Definitely a big one, yeah.
Yeah, it has to be a big one. And it doesn't have to be the standard maps.
And we could do something
Yeah,
truly epic.
Cinnies. Somebody keeps activating a very large base on Val. That's what your problem is.
Again,
I noticed.
sorry, go on.
I noticed that same problem. I can be on Val one day and it's sitting there hovering at 25, and then I have a little fly around, visit a few bases, and suddenly it's down to like half the frame rate it should be.
Yeah. And this is the problem with these big bases too, because as we said before last week, every piece has a snap point. And every time you render those bases, if there's 100 million snap points all over the base, it calculates, it checks structural integrity, all that sort of stuff. And it's not just about people having great PCs, it's about the server falling to its knees. And that's why we need to do it. There are some really cool custom maps.
There are indeed. So, anyways, there's lots to think about there. We've got a feedback channel. I'd like to hear people's thoughts. We're not going to make sweeping changes without giving you some advance warning, first of all, but we're telling you this is what's coming down the line. This is what we're doing to alleviate problems. And yeah, we've got lots of housekeeping going on in the background. It just takes time to deal with it all because, we all have lives, unfortunately.
We do?
Yeah, we do. The other thing to think about as well is I would like to maybe shout out some of the other creative builders that have YouTube channels out there, like who's
Aaron.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Aaron Longstaff.
Aaron Longstaff is a good example. There's a lot of stuff that he builds that is very simple, but with the way he does it, he achieves some absolutely stunning builds. And there's another one as well. This begins with S. Can't remember. But there's probably about half a dozen. Pilgrim's Project, yes, that's the one I was thinking of. There's probably about half a dozen really good YouTube channels out there that have some really creative people running them that do some absolutely amazing art builds. And most of them are using vanilla. And some of the stuff they can build and achieve in small spaces is just freaking amazing. So check them out for ideas. Is all I can say to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any objections to it. Could one of the mods kind of maybe scoot off in the background and see if you can find the links to these channels? Pilgrim's Project and Aaron Longstaff, the two that jump to mind, but there are others out there. But while they're digging that up, we had something else, didn't we?
We did.
Yes.
Something spooky.
Ooh.
So again, now for something completely different. That's an old guy reference. It's just one of those things. You're gonna have to put it with
Thanks, John.
We're in October, and we will be holding our annual Fear in the Forest event. It's going to be on the 29th at 6 p.m. So if you haven't heard already, and you're asking to yourself, what's all this about? It's basically a ghoulish, zombie-infested, naked and afraid approach to Halloween. We're still going to be running the Fear Evolved event. That's still going to be on. But we also run our own, and we've been doing this for about 3-4 years now. There's going to be no dinosaurs. None at all. I know it sounds weird, but it kind of is. Just zombies. Some light RP and plenty of heads exploding. That's not all. There's going to be prizes to take home. There's going to be some new things involved. Prizes are going to be including zombie brains and
Ooh,
zombie
zombie
hearts.
brains.
Interesting question with the zombies there. Kinda, but not in the event. I'll get back to that in a minute. So zombie brains, zombie hearts are going to be rewards from this month's or this year's Here in the Forest event. What are zombie brains and what are zombie hearts? Sounds completely yucky. But what would happen if you fed them to a random dinosaur? Who knows? I guess we're going to find out. So there's going to be prizes. It's going to be amazing. As DJ said earlier on, we've had to delete the event. So if you did sign up for the event, get your sign-ups in there now. We're a UK-based server. A lot of work goes into these things. And we're trying to severely overhaul it this year as well. So if people have seen it before, you've not seen it this year. It's going to be completely different. Look at that. DJ's been on the coding again. What could zombie brains possibly do? So if you can get your sort of invites back in, put your interest there, we're going to take as many as we can. I think we're going to cap it. Did you say 40 earlier on the cap?
Yes, we will cap it at 40 players.
If we get over 40, I can only imagine we'll have some sort of lottery draw somehow, and we'll wangle that out. Didn't think it was going to be that popular. Obviously, we've grown a lot, and I'm thoroughly blown away. You should be super excited. Next week, if I can, and we've got our stuff together and we're on YouTube again, I might actually even do a little bit of a stream, show you what you're in for. It's thoroughly cool. I'll release a mod list before the time, so you've all got time to subscribe. It's going to be a cut down server. You'll go in naked. You don't need to bring anything. Everything will be provided. And it's just about having fun, having a laugh, shooting the crap out of a load of zombies, and then... Is it brains, not spelled brain? Definitely needs to be brains with a double A. Have you not seen any zombie films, Quick?
It's got triple A in it, because
Yeah.
they're triple A brains.
So yeah, come along if you can. It's going to be amazing. I thoroughly love this event, and it's probably the best one we've ever done, and the one that gets the most sort of kudos at the end of the day. So hopefully we'll see you all there. It's going to be cool. If we're taking off like we're taking off, then next year maybe we're running 2 events. Who knows? So we'll see you there. It's going to be fun. And any questions? We've covered already a huge chunk of stuff. But if anybody's got any questions not related to limits and apexes, that would be cool. You're bad with horror. It's gonna be fun. There's gonna be enough people there, I think, this year that there's just gonna be stuff exploding all over the place. It's actually a whole mod, and you can run a whole server around it, sort of like the Walking Dead kind of universe. I knew that was going to be coming. Is there going to be a dino cap at the Apex Arena? There isn't currently a dino cap at the Apex Arena. There's no reason we're going to add one just because it goes to an arena.
No, there won't be. But obviously, if you take 500 dino, well, you won't be able to. Yes, there is a dino cap.
It's basically how many you can fit in the box. Yes.
No, it's 75.
It is?
Yeah. Can't have more than 75 dinos out on a map. Boom.
Good point. Okay, fair point.
So, it's 75 minus what you've got out at your base on that map.
Yes. Dino limit.
You can at the moment. Yeah, 75 is way over. But to be honest, you've got to think about it. You're like, is there a dino cap? Well, if we let you put 300 dinos out, would you actually be able to fight the boss, or would you just DC with a buffer overflow?
This is true.
So it's like... Yeah,
there comes a point where you can't move and you're just trapped in this heaving mass of flesh and being chewed to pieces from the outside. Yeah.
It's just like, boss laugh at you, stand on top of dinos, eat your face.
A great example of that was the very first Domination Rex attempt, where
Oh, yeah.
said player rocked up. I mean, don't get me wrong, this player was kitted. He was end game and he knew his stuff. And he came kitted with like 150 million 254 Tech Rexes, and he arranged them all out around the arena with this big cocky smile on his face. He's like, I'm having this. Watch this, boys. And he unleashed them all at the dummy. You can just
But
imagine this like 365-degree mesh of dinosaurs hitting this Domination Rex. And the hilarious thing was, the DPS he was putting out was amazing. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't even the lag. The funny thing was, when all the dinosaurs hit him, the Dummy Rex was pushed upwards and proceeded to float above this writhing mass of 250, super cat dinos, and he couldn't even hit the thing. It was the most hilarious thing ever.
actually,
The dude rage quit, had a mental breakdown live on sort of stream, and that was it.
I thought he pushed it out of the arena and then had a meltdown because it healed to full.
I think that was the first meltdown, wasn't it? And then, yeah, the physics took over the second one. He surrounded them, and I remember he pushed. Tommy just basically had nowhere to go, so went upwards and just floated above the dinosaurs' heads. It was epic. So there does come a point where too many dinos becomes way too much to handle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Savage Acro gets a lot of people. Part of the fun of the Savage Acro is the fact that it's done as the creator intended it, and it does have mechanics. It does need to be sort of kited around, and you need to dodge the roar. It's good stuff.
Mm.
Entity cramming. That's just like a meat sack, isn't it? At the end of the day, jiggling things. Okay, so we've not done bad actually. We're at an hour and a half.
Yes, they would include the acro. It's brutal. Loot tables in the same in the center as other maps. Yes, they are, cheese, except for the bosses. Unless the center has any special
I was going to
loot
bring that
boxes.
up. Yes, it certainly is behaving a little bit weirder than we expect it to. I'm guessing it's got drops on there that the other maps don't cover. I would say it's 80% working fully as intended, though, apart from the bosses yet. Exactly, that was the whole point of the Dummy Rexes, though, wasn't it? Is three dummies can absolutely, if controlled correctly, completely take the pee out of a Savage Acro.
Is a giga allowed in the arena? Yes, you can take a giga into the arena. By all means, Cleveland, take 10 gigas into the arena. See how you do.
Had a DC server in game chat, by the way. Cool. Okay, I think we're sorted then for this week. You got nothing else to add now?
No, I don't think so. I just had a quick look through the loot, non-configured loot options, and all I have got is Broodmother Center, Broodmother Medium, Hard Center, Megapithecus Center, and that's it. Yeah, no loot crates specific to the center.
Okay.
Oh, and a Raptor Claws gift box.
Yay. Take a look and lost and found. I will do as soon as we're done here.
Oh, Deathshot, you've ruined the surprise.
Bye. Thank you, admins. Okay, I'm going to call it there for today then. So we have been the Wicked Ninjas. You have all been awesome. Thank you very much and good night.
Hang on,
Oh,
hang on.
okay.
We didn't give anything away today.
We didn't give anything away today. It seems almost bad that we shouldn't, being this is our first YouTube extravaganza. Maybe we should.
Exactly.
What do you have in
That's
mind?
what I'm thinking.
What have you got in mind? Let's do it.
What have I got in mind?
Oh, don't give me the
Oh,
Phasmo photos already. Damn you, Heavy.
Phasmo photos?
Yeah, pretty sure that's a Phasmo photo. What have you got for us then? What are we giving away?
10 million Fed shots would be great. Oh, okay.
Only one thing better than 10 million Fed shots, though.
10 million and one.
I was going to say 20 million, but that works too, yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm reading suggestions in chat. Shiny of our choice. Shinies you can't choose. So it would have to be shiny roulette.
Shiny roulette. So much fun.
Seeing as the theme for the week, I think, is Tech Cave Run, and we probably need to help with that. I would like to give away I would suggest the ultimate setup for the Tech Cave doing the run is, you have maybe like 2 or 3 Rexes at the front with tech saddles on, cannons loaded. They just blast everything as you walk through the cave. And then behind that, you have like a train of Theries going 2 by 2 with somebody leading that. So probably about 4 people running the cave. So what I would be willing to give away this week is, and this I will put some time aside for and schedule it in, is a proper run through the tech cave for 3 people to record and show everybody how it should be done and how you should prep for it. What do you think about that?
Yes, I did solo it with a gun.
Yeah.
Now that piece of flying at the end where you were dodging around pillars and things like that and dodging all the lasers, and that is worth YouTubing. That's a technical know-how on how to dodge boss fire.
Yeah, so yeah, I like that idea too. I think we give away the Rex tech saddles and a couple of shotguns to allow, or like a cave kit. That's what I'm thinking. This big prize. So we go with like a couple of Rexes, a UT, and maybe a couple of Theries, and the appropriate saddles for them. Then it'd be up to you to breed the rest of the UTs you need and get the ammo and the elements to power the guns. What do you think? Nani, what do you think on the content of the reward?
I think I'm going to have to see if I can dust off my Raid Rex, and even if he still exists. If I recall, I was the tank. Does Raid Rexy still exist? Where's number 5?
Yeah, I think today's prize will be 3 people can tag along to a WNG tech cave run.
Okay.
You have to be capable of coming on comms and listening. And we will film the run, and then it will go up.
We could be mocked hilariously.
Oh, we can be mocked hilariously when we fall in the lava and die.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
The pressure is on now.
We'll organise a time that suits you. 3 people. So 2 winners. What level are we doing? Should we start off simple? We'll do gamma. I'm not going to run people through an alpha. This is going to be an educational piece on how to run the cave. On 3 people that can come along and attend. They're not and they're still going to have to run the beta and the alpha on their own. What I'm not going to do is run 9 people through an alpha run with no active participation or, willingness to actually do their role. So whoever comes along is actually going to have to ride one of the dinos and perform a role within that run. It's not a boost. You're going to have to do your work.
It's time to start the amazing countdown then.
I mean, we're all okay with this, yeah?
I'm
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So like a videoed run through Gamma Tech Cave. 3 slots are open. Each person that comes along will be asked to bring certain gear, and they will have to perform a role within that raid or that run.
The 3 winners will get the kit. What do you mean?
Well, the three winners will get to attend. They'll get the run, and they'll get the lowest level completion on Tech Cave. So you won't have an alpha ascension out of it. I'm not just going to do that. Does that make sense?
Oh, here we go.
Push the button, please. Well, 94 entries, so that's guaranteed. 6. That went up quickly. 7. The minimum requirement to join is being capable of listening to instructions and performing your role. Yeah, there is a level restriction on it. Oh, there we go. Go appear, Katsu, and quick.
Wiki poo. Oh dear.
I think this will be good.
No.
Right,
Congrats,
let me
guys.
just grab that. I'm just going to pop that into my admin chat. So what I'll do is I will put up a post proposing some times for the run. Once it's confirmed, I'll get that in as an event in the diary, in the events calendar. And then we will set up for filming and be a go. Just so you're all aware, I used to raid lead in WoW quite considerably, so I'm not going to take shit.
I was just about to ask Sandy. Yes, of course, you're welcome to come.
Yes, most definitely.
Troll shop. Do bear in mind there will be admins in there with red guns necessary if you're going to rush the cave entrance. That's going to be a better video than the actual run.
Oh, totally.
Griffin, yeah. Then if I do have to red gun somebody, that'll just pee me off even further because then I'll have to relog to get rid of the admin mode.
Oh, on the topic of missing tributes from that run, while we're all here,
Okay.
I meant to say earlier that I'll just pull the save file from when the run was happening and see who has the tributes in their inventory.
That's a great idea.
So whoever it was who yeeted the tributes off the terminal, yeah, it's going to be short-lived.
If we do find exactly who did it, you'll know about that, don't worry. There'll be pieces of them over here and there and here and there.
What you're all forgetting is when you nick something on a server, people running the server can just load up that map at that time and just see what was in your inventory or on your dinos or on the ground, or it's not difficult. It's just a pain in the ass. And that's the kind of thing that takes away from us being able to do create the content, make the fun events, and let everybody enjoy themselves. Yeah, me too. Unfortunately, because we keep 30 days of backups, it's I'm not in any rush.
Yes, anyone on the map at that point.
Yeah, anybody on the map.
Nobody is safe. And yes, I'll definitely second that. The community did do great after that. And some people, particularly, I will name Cheese as one of those, did actually stand up and say, right, not having this, let's go forth and repair it. So thank you for that.
So I'd give you a quick example when it's finished loading. Come on, processor, you can go faster than this.
Do.
So, for example, I'm sure we all know who Tactical Spork is.
Yes.
So I've just fired up a save I happen to have kicking around on my desktop from the island, and that's what Tactical Spork has in his inventory when I took that save off. So I can see. I can also go and view all his tames, whether they're in things or not in things. I can see all his structures, see everything he's got in his storage. So yeah, it's fairly easy. It's a pain, like I said, it's a pain in the bottom to dig into this stuff, because it means I have to go and trawl through the backups, find the one at the right time, drag that over to my desktop from the server, fire it up, load up the Save Game Explorer, start digging through it and find what I need to find. So it's not something I will do upon request for anybody, but when we need to, we can. Like, for example, I haven't got Fjordur on my desktop at the moment, but it's like when people go, "Oh, I can't find an oil vein on Fjordur. Can you or unlock your oil pumps or whatever?" I do a quick check, and I'm like, "There's 55 oil veins on Fjordur. Only 20 of them are being used. Open your eyes." And stuff like that. So yeah, lots we can do, but it all takes time.
Does indeed.
Anyways, I think we've covered off all tangents. I think we have a nice giveaway. We'll have an event planned. We'll do some filming. We'll kick somebody off the cluster. We'll improve performance. We've got an awesome Halloween event coming. I'm very excited about that. We got some brains to eat and we got some hearts to eat, and it's going to be cool.
Hearts and minds. Yeah, hearts and minds.
The hearts and minds. Pitchfork.
Going to be so entertaining if it is actually turned out to be somebody who's in this channel pretending like everything's goodness and light.
Yes, eating brains and hearts. It's something that will happen as a result of the Halloween event that's running on the 29th. And you can sign up to in the events section in Discord in the top left-hand corner. Click the events button, scroll down, and you will see Halloween events. Click on interested, and away you go. We have 24 sign-ups at the moment. I was hoping it would go up while I was looking at it. It didn't. Somebody make it go up. 25. There we go. Brilliant. That will be kept out at 40. We have run it in the past. That number of players is fine.
You mean 4,000? Surely. I'm even going to say we're going too far if we come down to 400 structures. It's a bit much.
Yeah, that's a bit nuts. So what you're saying is that's 1,000 out of 4,000. So you are a quarter of the way through building your base.
On 5 Quetzals. It's a sight to behold. 6 Quetzals, I'm corrected.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 5 Quetzals, a beaver, and a Diplo, Bronto.
And a Maywing. There's at least a Maywing.
3, 4, 5. Oh, the one on the left is buried. There's a little green blob. Wow. That's nuts.
I like that gear.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
We will totally will be giving you some warning on that.
It's not just going to happen in 10 minutes.
There's at least 12 hours till maintenance.
How do I kill the overseer? If you're asking that question, go and kill the brood mother first.
The overseer I have seen done with a tech suit and a shotgun.
Actually,
That's on this cluster, on these rates, live.
yeah.
That's alpha. I watched John himself being a cocky little bugger and literally skipping the whole cave, getting right to the end, and soloing the whole thing. It's doable.
But the interesting thing is, you need the tech suit and you need the element. So you're going to have to have unlocked that stuff first.
Yes, we'll confirm I saw that too. Alpha Rockwell with a shotgun. Nice progress.
So to unlock the tech suit, you've got what the helmet is from Alpha Broodmother, Beta Rockwell, or Ice Titan. The chest is from Alpha Dragon, Beta Rockwell, or Ice Titan. Gauntlets are from Gamma Mega, Gamma Manticore, Gamma Rockwell, or Forest Titan. The tech leggings are Gamma Dragon, Gamma Manticore, Gamma Rockwell, or Forest Titan. And the boots are Beta Broodmother, Beta Rockwell, or Desert Titan. So before you can go and solo the Overseer in your tech suit with your high powered shotgun, you've still got to have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bosses at alpha, beta, and gamma levels.
We're going for a record score. I said we'd hit 2 hours.
So yeah, but when people say, yeah, I can solo this boss and I can do that boss, you've got to have killed the boss already using traditional methods to be able to unlock the gear to then do the boss using the cheese method. My Homo Deus is bigger than your Homo Deus.
Yeah, Pandora was walking in a minute. Cha-ching! Throw the hammer at everyone and leave.
Has anybody else unlocked the ability to use Mjolnir yet? I don't think they have they?
I've not heard of.
It's the Explorer notes that are going to hold people up, I reckon.
Yeah, they're evil.
The only reason they're evil is because if your computer goes tits up and you lose your save file, you lose your Explorer notes.
Yeah, those loads are a lot of work. I know GD Havoc has been working on the runes recently as well, and that's been driving him insane, let alone all the notes.
Well, the runes aren't too bad because they respawn.
Yeah.
And I could cope with that. But the Explorer notes are what annoys me because you can lose your progress through, well.
Been there, done that. Twice.
Yeah, but that's kind of. We probably could have avoided that.
Pains of adminning. Sometimes you lose your shit.
Yeah, runes are Explorer notes. That's how they work. So yes, you can lose your progress on those two.
It's a pain.
Right. Oh, somebody's commented on graphic settings. No one actually uses sky quality. Well, actually, yes, I do. Mine's always at max.
Yeah, same.
Why not? I'm not putting this out here as like a whole penis extension thing, but I run on those settings. I run at 144 frames, and I thoroughly enjoy playing Ark. It looks gorgeous, and it's smooth and it's nice to play, and I don't have any issues anywhere. But at the same time, I am using, well, it's battering my processor. My GPU is always at 75 plus percent. The only thing I'm not using a lot of is RAM, 13 gig of RAM. Arc is massively GPU bound.
Yeah. Rockwell
Yeah,
Prime
no,
is an ass.
I'm not even. That's my point. My settings are tailored so that I have a really nice visual experience while maintaining my frame rate. But I think the parting note for that is after I did all my investigation into what is required to run Arc these days, if you have GPU with less than 5 gigabytes of RAM, you're already on a massive back foot. There's, if it's
8
constant,
is kind of bare minimum now, isn't it?
no, 5 is according to what I worked out.
There are cards out there with 5 gig on though.
I think no, there aren't. That's the point. There's
Yeah.
either I think it's 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
Yeah.
So if you want to play Arc and you want it to be a nice experience, you need a 6 gigabyte card. Yeah, that's exactly it, Sandy. And 3 gig isn't enough. It might be if you're playing purely vanilla Arc with no mods whatsoever. But you've got to remember that all these we have mods, and those mods have textures, and those textures need to be loaded. I'm not sure what that's showing me there, but no, not the Polish. I see your processor speed, but other than that, yeah. What you want to be looking at for Arc is, or if you can, do something like this one here from the task manager. This is the most useful, I suppose, because you can see CPU, memory, and graphics card all in one place. So you want something like that. That's Task Manager from Windows, what I've just posted, and that gives you your GPU usage, your memory on your GPU, plus from the sidebar you can see your system memory, and you can see how heavily your CPU is being utilized. Yeah, if you where's the link to this? Copy link. This thread here that we've got running on the Discord community help section. In that thread, you can see how much usage I was on each settings. So I've done low preset, medium, high, and then epic, and then my own settings. On every single one of those presets, and I did a full system restart between each test, you can see your VRAM usage, your system RAM usage, how much CPU is being used. I've also put in explanations for all of the settings and what they do and what has the most impact. But everything there said you needed more than 4 gigs of VRAM. No matter how crap you set the settings, you could not get it below that.
And then the pitfalls of going over your VRAM, those that aren't educated or don't know, when you go over your VRAM, it will start to use system RAM, which doesn't sound like too bad an idea at the moment. But system RAM is like crazy slow compared to GPU RAM. So you start to see hitching and stuff like that. It's not good to run over your
Yeah.
VRAM.
So if you want to see how much VRAM you're using, so for example, on the one John just posted, he needs to click on the GPU on the left-hand side, and it'll then show you the RAM usage for the video for the card. Yeah, that's it, John. So at the moment, John's using 7 out of 8 GB of RAM, whatever he happens to be running.
Very similar to mine.
No, I haven't. But what I am looking forward to is the Ascension from Scorched Earth.
It's about time for that.
Definitely. Oh, it's nice to know you tried my settings, John. Yes, we have a couple of players that run Arc on GeForce now. It's actually pretty good. Your load times are a little slow. Take about 5 minutes to get in initially, but it's quite acceptable if you don't have GPU.
I've spoke to a few people who've used the GeForce Now because I was intrigued as to how that would work, and wow, that must be really, really bad. But I've been assured no, it's actually quite good. Because Arc is PVE anyway, the latency you don't really notice that much. The only complaint I've heard from them is players complaining that I guess the way they work, they must need to update the GeForce Now servers, and they can sometimes be a little sort of step behind with updating them, but I've not heard anyone complain about them. In fact, entirely the opposite.
So I totally missed you were explaining about what happens when you run out of video RAM.
Yes. So obviously, if you run out of video RAM, you move over into system RAM, right? And
Yep.
system RAM is, although system RAM is very, very fast, your system RAM is in no way or shape as good as VRAM. So the minute you start to skip over, this is when you start to run into sort of hitches and load times and all that sort of stuff. So Arc will absolutely work if you go over your VRAM, but if you can contain it within your VRAM, you'll see massive, huge improvements.
Yeah, swapping data between you run out of VRAM, like Arnie says, it puts it into your system RAM. You run out of system RAM, it swaps it to your hard drive.
Yeah.
And your VRAM is the fastest RAM on the planet. That stuff is phenomenally fast, way faster than your system RAM, and it's sitting right next to the graphics processor. So moving data between the graphics chip and the VRAM is massively quick. So when you load the game, the bit that takes ages, it loads all your textures into the VRAM, so your graphics card has immediate access to it. And then if you run out of VRAM, it then shunts it into your system RAM, which then means you're chewing system RAM to power your graphics, and also it's having to move data between your system RAM to your VRAM to your GPU, back to your VRAM, back to your system. It becomes a complete mess. Then if you run out of system memory as well, it then starts writing it down to your hard drive, which is even slower, at which point you might as well not play. I think Arc is fairly light on actual RAM. So, you've got 16 gigs or more, you're doing fine. Computer wise, anything in the last 3 generations will probably cut it fine. It is super graphics card heavy. Anyways, we've gone super long. We've still got a lot of people here, so thank you all.
We have indeed. We've just hit the legendary 2 hours and 5 minutes mark. I think we've hit a record.
Yay!
So yeah, I think we're going to wrap up now.
It's nice to have a natter.
It is. We need more technical related streams, I think. That'll be cool. Going to make the time.
Oh my lord.
Like workshops and shit.
Sorry, John's just posted some really nice pictures of the trading posts in mod chat.
I can't see.
Share those later. They're cool. They'll look good on social.
Those are nice.
We do need more submissions to the Arc Media channel, because we used to regularly feature in the Community Crunch for some of the epic builds that we had on our servers, and excellent screenshots, and kind of like what's the word? Not themed, not stylistic, inspirational pictures. No, you know the kind where you see a dinosaur silhouetted against the background and somebody standing there cheering with a nice hat on.
Have we got any sort of restrictions on who can post in the media?
No, none whatsoever.
Because I've seen quite a few people complaining that they're not able to post images there yet. Is there a reason for that?
Yes. Anyone that is below level 5 cannot post images or links.
Okay, so it is the yellow ninja restriction. Okay.
Yes, it is. Lowering that, I'm loath to do, because it's so easy to get level 5 just by chatting to the community a little bit, chatting in the round table, all that kind of stuff. You'll be leveling up all while you're doing it. So it really helps keep the bots at bay, and the spammers, and the people who just want to pop in and spam inappropriate images in general chat all day long.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of really tempted not to lower that restriction. If you're serious about the community and you want to post your pictures and share, then just talk to us and you'll be level 5 in no time, and then you can post links, you post images, and you can participate even more.
Yeah. Seriously, don't touch launch settings. I never touch them.
No need.
Personal opinion, maybe, but once you hit the level where you're reducing your graphics so much that you're looking at a potato on a blue background,
there's nothing you can really do in the launch settings that you can't do within the game settings, except for one thing. And this may help people out with low VRAM. I could just find the link. It's in our Arc FAQ, and it is titled something along the lines of, "Why do my graphics look like potatoes?" Potato graphics, why? Here we go. So you can do this. That's the only setting I would even remotely recommend to you.
Later, Smiley. Thank you.
So yeah, that should knock down your memory usage.
What's the last question? Quick. Sorry, cheese.
Quick cheese.
I'll absolutely run Arc. No problem at all.
Are you planning to add new DOM rexes like the center DOM, Gen 2 DOM? What? DOM?
Dominations.
DOM.
Rexes.
Are you planning to add new ones?
I think the mod only comes with certain set dummies. I'm not aware he's added any more of them yet. That's not an us thing. The upgrades are an us thing. The dummies themselves are Arc Editions, I believe.
Yeah, they are. They're a standalone from the same author as Arc Editions.
Yeah.
No, we didn't make the variants. We make the food you feed them that gives them extra levels. No worries. And obviously, there are skins as well available on the world bosses that you can put on your dominations. You change them into volcanoes and bogs and stuff like that.
Yeah, some of those are really nice too. People still's typing.
I know. I'm reading. I'm typing reading.
2:11, guys. Have we not pulled the pants off you already? Can't share your beautiful screenshot.
I think we just covered that one. Oh yes, that's a good one. I like that. That is possible. That's kind of material there.
Rex at rest.
Well, I was thinking more like
Hang on a minute. Wasn't that where they were actually throwing fed shards at us for dancing? That last picture.
yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. That's more of like a dancer sitting on a counter.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was. The pictures he's posting there with the two guys sat on the benches with Rex costumes on. Me and Sandy were actually just behind the camera here doing dances for people while we were doing maintenance, I believe, on something.
Yeah.
The crowd got bigger and people ended up throwing fed shards at us, like sort of weird,
Stick it in your briefs.
Exactly. Yeah, totally. Laters, Mango. Thank you. Good pick.
See, that's cool. See, this is the kind of stuff that we need to be sharing and seeing, because this is community crunch quality stuff.
Yeah. I so need to go up on social, John.
Yeah, obviously the one with the Discord overlay on it probably wouldn't, but damn, those settings.
That is some
Ooh.
special stuff there, Nugget.
Man, is that how you play Nug?
It was an alpha. Oh god, I remember early alpha. It was horrible. DJ's like, let's play this game. It's called ARG. It looks amazing. And Nani's sitting there on his laptop. Load in, and the beach satellite goes, hi, a dinosaur. I played about ARC's quality now and how they, the technical bit goes behind ARC now. It was terrible back then. One of the two things I remember from early ARC is A, not being able to move, and B, being farmed by an Alpha Raptor.
Oh, yeah.
I think it is time now, though, guys, unfortunately. We're going to have to rip ourselves away.
Yeah.
Go and see our loved ones, pet the dog, that sort of thing.
I have no idea where the cat's gone. I need to find that out.
You don't even have a cat. It's all good.
I know. That's the problem.
I don't have
a cat yet. I need to find out where the cat is.
It's absolutely not a problem. It's like, where's the cat? I don't care. It's somebody else's cat. Brilliant. You get all the love. You get all the fussies. And you don't have to worry about the poos and the litter boxes and the feeding. It's great.
What I mean is, where's the cat? Is it crawled into my bed? Or is it still asleep on my jumper on the sofa?
What colour cat is it? Does it leave like loads of hairs like Fred does when you turn up in black?
No. It's grey and black stripy. Looks like a grey and black stripy tiger.
Yeah. So we are actually signing off now, guys. So we've been the Wicked Ninjas. You have all been awesome. In fact, more awesome every week. Thank you. We love you, and good night. Laters, guys. Oh, Diesel. It's all about the family.